Every day she takes a morning bath, she wets her hair, wraps a towel around her as she's heading for the bedroom chair. It's just another day.
Sometimes I really don't prefer to sit, and in a lot of places they make you sit, and I grew up and I like to lay down a lot, and so when I went to college and I was there with my parents, I walked into the room and he told me to sit down, and I said, I'd prefer to lay down, so I laid down, and next thing I know, the interview ended with him smiling and everything like that, but it really ended with him sending me a letter that said I couldn't go to school. So I was pretty pissed, as well as my parents, and they kind of made me wash dishes that night, and as long as other dishes that were mostly for decoration. I guess that's the way it is. Well, I used to be your favorite neighbor, now I'm kind of your second favorite neighbor, and that's fine with me. I don't really care. All I care about is that you're driving a fast car, and that you have a nice tie on, and that you have a better job than me, and that you sing, Nelly Furtado songs when you come home with your wife and kids. That's cool with me. That's cool. I'm not here to resist the temptations. I used to run at least 3 miles every few days, and I had a good time doing it. Later came to sooner, and I just started doing things the wrong way and not really giving a crap about my personal health anymore. And I still brushed my teeth and took showers, but other than that, I didn't really sweat or create any kind of physical movement that would achieve success. So I might get back into that soon, but I gotta go buy some Nikes first. Yeah, so I'm still kind of 23 years old. That's the cool thing about my life, is I'm still being a 23-year-old. I got about another year till I'm 24, and I'm not really in any kind of rush. That's the cool thing about time. I got 300 and something days till my next birthday, and that's pretty cool. That gives me enough time to really, still enjoy eating hot dog and go out with friends and go to bars and go to movies, and pay, $7, and I'm cool with that. As long as I'm in school and staying cool, things ought to be cool, huh? Oh man, favorite actor? I don't know. It'd probably be Anthony Hopkins, just because he's old and he has gray hair, and I think that's pretty cool. And he used to have a British accent. I don't know if he still does. The movie, I'll be more than happy to figure that out for you. So, Anthony Hopkins, if I can meet him and get his signature, I bet it's really fucking awesome. One time I had to do this thing called a skeleton plot. I didn't really understand what it was, but I thought I had to do something with skeletons, and so I kept doing it, and further on I just got bored, and I didn't complete the assignment, and I ended up not doing very well, and I wasn't really cool with that, because what the hell are you going to label a skeleton plot for if you're not doing it with skeletons? Who's the dummy now? As a kid, I didn't really have any dreams of being an astronaut or anything. I just wanted to be on a boat. I didn't really want to have a specific duty on the boat. I just want to kind of stand on the boat and watch the ocean waves, and just want to be out on the ocean, kind of have that as my job, be kind of the overlooker of the sea or whatever. I don't know, and just have, maybe I'd give the captain a back rub every once in a while. You gotta keep him comfortable, or else he's not going to want to drive the boat. Love is a very cool thing. You fall in love with something, and I don't know, I guess that's the way it works. I can honestly say I've fallen in love with lots of things that aren't even real, like my shoes and even my TV, things like that. And love conquers tall, so you got to be able to be quick on your feet, I guess. I grew up in a really small town in Kansas, and it was pretty cool for most of the time. I'd walk around and run around with my friends and play hockey and stuff, and it was pretty fun. And I drank a lot of Mountain Dew as a young kid, and that was pretty fun. Most of the time me and my friends would just get drunk and go climb trees and everything like that, and I was only 7 years old, but didn't stop me from believing, there was something more. I have a car, it runs pretty good. The stick shift thing is kind of weird. You kind of have to push it really hard in the park, and I'm okay with that because sometimes I have to push things extra hard, like doors, and even though they're pull, and then I figure out halfway through a second that it's supposed to be done the other way with my arm, and that's when I realized that someone's laughing at me, and I turn around and say, "You poopy face, what are you trying to do? Give me harm?" Sometimes I feel like I'm not going to be okay. I wake up in the morning and my sheets are they're semi-comfy, and I get out of bed, and then I realize that I have to take a shower and stuff, and I get out of the shower, I'm freezing and stuff like that, and I realize that then I have to eat, and I don't have any time to eat, and then I'm not very good without, some kind of nutrients in my body, so I just go to campus and I feel like I'm going to pounce on someone if they try to contact me in the weirdest way, like tap me on the shoulder in the weirdest way. So, I try to resist physical force. So what I usually do is I'll just kind of, eat what the pigeons feel are necessary and kind of pick a couple crumbs off the ground and start eating at that. And, I get in trouble, I get labeled a hobo, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get a little food in my stomach. I don't want to just go the rest of the day off, stomach bile. Yeah, I like fashion. I try to fit in as much as possible. I go to a campus with about 80,000 students. They all wear the same kind of stuff, and they all like to wear, the girls like to wear the boots, and the guys like to wear their fresh Pumas, and I'm fine with that. Like, it's not like a big deal to me, but, when I'm walking down the line, and I've had tennis shoes that I've been wearing without socks for about 2 years, I'm going to get looks, and people are going to say, well, aren't you going to upgrade your fashion sense? I'm like, no, I'm fine with my flannel and weird tennis shoes. Like, anyone's got a problem with it, they can contact the FBI or whatever, because, they're probably the only ones who will, say, shut up and get off my line. Growing up, I never really, played games, the right way. I usually used cheats and go online and, figure out some cheats and print them off and then just use it that way, and pretty much I'll be done with the game by 5. I'd start at 3 in the afternoon, end up beating the game at 5, and I was okay with that. It's not like I'm just trying to just live my whole life vicariously through a video game. That's not exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be able to do things fast, and that's why I eat fast food. I took my snowplow out this morning, and I was trying to dust off the sidewalk, and nothing seemed to happen. I was out there for at least 4 hours trying to turn the damn thing on, and it was an on and off kind of thing. I'd go inside and for 30 minutes wait till my arms cooled off a little bit or dried off or warmed up, and I was drinking, sipping hot chocolate in 10-minute increments, and all of a sudden I go back outside. Someone stole my snowplow, and I didn't really think anything of it. I knew it didn't work anyway, so what's the point of having one? Well, the last time I went bowling, I ended up getting, I wasn't exactly kicked out. I kind of just kicked myself out. I was having a weird time. I got drunk. Friends gave me a little too many pitchers of beer. I ended up feeling weird because everyone was wearing funky shoes, and shoes felt weird. They didn't have any kind of arch support, so I just took them off, and I said, screw this. I walked out, and the manager said I didn't pay for my games, and I said, well, you can pay for your games because I don't even like your funky shoe kind of establishment. And he said, well, you're going to get in trouble. And, well, my gosh, what happened? I had to get a citation and a fine that I ended up having to pay off for a couple months. That's what happens when you go to a place that wears funky shoes. I'm not really looking for anything special this Christmas. All I really want is a few slices of pizza, so if Santa just wants to come along and drop a few slices in my chimney, that's cool. Sometimes I really think they'd make another movie like Look Who's Talking, where they have babies who, and they think, and someone does a voiceover. I'd really love to be the voiceover of the baby. That way, I could make a few extra bucks and say that I talked as a baby. Growing up in 5th grade wasn't the easiest thing. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I'd usually go sit in the corner and try and make friends with things that weren't even real, like imaginary friends. I still had imaginary friends when I was 10 years old. Trying to just cover it up, people would come over to me and say, what the hell are you doing? I'd say, talking to the air. And they'd say, what do you mean by that? And I go, well, look it up in your science book, dummy.